What's going on? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Anthony Walker, the HD, the head of the day, the host of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Hope you're all well, whatever it is you are doing. Wow. Boy, did I get a shock Friday night. I scheduled a live stream today to do a video podcast. I didn't know what to have. You know, I was going to talk wrestling and talk about various topics and various things and give my opinions on things. And I was up Friday night working, as I do, working on my Games Matter channel and maybe some podcast work, the odd podcast work as well, getting ready for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And getting ready to do a very special edition of the video podcast because I was going to review Shug's Hoose Party 2, which took place last Sunday. I was going to review that and get it all prepared and everything. But like I say, something shocked the world of professional wrestling. And notice I said professional wrestling and not sports entertainment, because I don't promote sports entertainment here on the Wrestling Matters channel, or even on the podcast for that matter. But yeah, found out Friday night, about midnight time, may have happened a little earlier than that, but I found out midnight that probably one of the greatest legends of all time, the original rebel of professional wrestling, the one and only, thank God. Many call him Mr. WrestleMania because it was because of WrestleMania. Many think he was the reason WrestleMania got off the ground. Rowdy Roddy Piper died, age 61, of a cardiac arrest, thanks to TMZ. I didn't get it from TMZ. I got it from WWE.com because when you hear stuff like this, yes, TMZ are very good at what they do and very good as far as bringing you the news and everything. But I never like to believe it until I've seen it on WWE.com. And I did. I saw it on WWE.com. And for the first time ever, I was absolutely speechless. Never saw this coming whatsoever. Did not see this happening at all. Holy moly. And out of the blue. And I didn't realize how popular. I mean, I knew he was popular, for Pete's sake. He's a legend, for crying out loud. But apparently the BBC even got out of it as well, and even broadcasting about it, and BBC Tees and stuff. And there was a radio program over here, Fly Me to the Moon, which is based off the Middlesbrough Football Club stuff and everything. And they even covered it as well. And he was well known. People had him. You know, people got out of the guy and everything. And I'm in a state of shock. And that's 3 legends this year that have gone. 3 legends. Dusty Rhodes. I believe it was Ultimate Warrior. I believe it was this year. I don't know. But Ultimate Warrior's gone. Dusty Rhodes is gone. And now Piper. And in my opinion, out of all the legends that have died, unfortunately passed away, I would have to say this is the one that's kicked me in the balls, quite frankly, and kicked many other people as well. You know, as you would imagine now, his podcast is no more. Because that's what he was doing. Now he was out at WWE, and apparently there was this thing going around with him and Austin about arguing and feuding about podcasts and everything. And I don't know. I don't want to get into that in a moment. One of my fun memories of the legend himself. Ooh, where do I begin? WrestleMania 1. The whole rock and wrestling connection. Which started well before that. And it led to the fact that he had on MTV, the war to sell the score. The straight up brawl they had on MTV, which turned into, and you could see clear as day of that match, which is on YouTube, by the way. Go and find it. Just type in war to sell the score, Hogan and Piper in the search engine, and you will see it. In all its entirety. It's split up into 2 parts. I think the match is part 2. Hogan coming out to his Eye of the Tiger theme song, and Piper coming out to Piper wearing a Hulkamaniac t-shirt. There was that, and you when you see that match, you will see that it was the build. It was the build towards WrestleMania 1 and what took place at WrestleMania 1, which involved Piper, Orndorff versus Hogan and Mr. T, with Cowboy Bob Orton in Piper in Orndorff's corner, Snooker in Hogan and T's corner. And that's what got WrestleMania off the ground. Another great memories of him. The dog collar match he had with Greg Valentine in the Starrcade show. Can't remember what Starrcade it was. I believe it was 83. The very first Starrcade. The night Flair beat Harley Race for the world title in that cage. Yeah. I mean, what can you say? Many other memories as well. Rowdy Piper winning the Intercontinental Championship at Royal Rumble 92, the night Flair won the WWF title. And he participated in the Rumble as well. But the night he won the Intercontinental Championship by beating Jacques Rougeau, who many of you may remember that time as the Mountie. Unfortunately, he ended up losing it 2 months later at WrestleMania 8 in an incredible match with him and Bret Hart. Incredible match. In my opinion, that was the best match on the WrestleMania 8 card, in my view. There was a time he came back later on, about 2006, when him and Ric Flair became WWE World Tag Team Champions, back when they had them World Tag Team belts that they had on Raw. Not the crap they have today, which was really cool. Two old timers getting a crack at the tag team titles. They didn't have it long, but two old friends and great rivals. There was matches he had with Ric Flair as well. The feud he had with Ric Flair, not just in WWE as well, in WCW. They had some matches at Bash. They had a match at Bash of the Beach. They did angles where him and when Flair was the president and he was the vice president, which led to a match between them two. Flair turning on Piper when he was trying to align himself with Piper, Flair that is, when he was with the Horsemen, and they turn on it. That's on YouTube. Just type in Ric Flair turns on Piper and you'll see it. When the Horsemen came out, it was Benoit and Mongo. They tried to get in the face. They were trying to get in his face and everything, and then Flair didn't want anything to happen and everything, and then Piper clouts Mongo and then beats up and takes a shot at Benoit, and Flair's like in the corner going, damn, and then obviously naturally Flair's going to turn on Piper because it was the Horseman. So whatever business deals they had then, went right out the window. And I think they had a match as well at Bash of the Beach that year. This was in 97. They had a match at Bash of the Beach that year as well in 97, which led to that and everything. I remember it because Benoit came down, and I think Piper put him to sleep, just like he did with Hogan. I mean, not just with Hogan in WWE, the feud with him in WWE. How about the feud he had with him in WCW? When Piper came out at Halloween Havoc after Hogan beat I believe it was Macho Man. They had it there. The match, him and the Giant, who's now the Big Show, in the ring and everything. And I think the pay-per-view went off the air because it was on Nitro. They showed what happened afterwards, and Piper's music came out, and Hogan's face was priceless. Because he didn't expect his arch nemesis to come out, and Hogan's face was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" And then he got into an argument and then decided to have a match which settled the score. At least they tried to have a match which settled the score. They had a match when, I believe it was at Starrcade of 1 year, when Piper put him to sleep and everything. And then they tried to show it on Nitro, and WCW trying to rub it in, Tony Schiavone, and then Bischoff grabbed the tape and ripped it up. And then they had a match at Super Brawl. I believe that was 97. of Super Brawl when Piper had him beat, had Hogan beat, but Macho Man joined the NWO of that year, and Macho and Hulk put a beat down and on Piper that year. Some great memories as well when Piper brought his son out one Nitro. Piper brought his son out on Nitro. I don't know. I think Hogan challenged him to a match, and WCW were trying to think, will he take the match? Will he accept the match and everything? And Piper brought his son out and everything, and then Bischoff and Hogan came down and caused all sorts of hell. You know, Piper tried, Hogan slapping Piper in the back of the head like he was some sort of a bully. And then Piper turned around saying to his son, "I am sorry." And then turned around and started beating the piss out of Hogan and Bischoff. Ted DiBiase came down to try to steal the belt. Piper manages to get the world title belt, and I believe held it hostage, which led into their match at Halloween. I believe it was Halloween Havoc. The big, huge, the huge cage that looked like a Punjabi prison around it, and then Macho Man doing that big leap off the ropes and everything, and all hell breaking loose in that match, which was great. Another WCW memory of Piper, before I go back to WWE, was him winning the United States Championship in 1999, which to me was this most ridiculous way. I mean, he got into another feud with Bret. I believe he became #1 contender to the US title at one point. And I don't know, he went on this. Bret Hart went on Mad TV and didn't take too kindly to what they were trying to do. And Bret got a chair, beat up the star of Mad TV, put him in a sharpshooter on the show. People thought it was all part of the act and everything. It wasn't. Well, it was all part of the WCW act anyway, but it wasn't. And, I mean, good grief. Anyway, Bret has him in the sharpshooter, and then Piper, it goes to a match on Nitro. This was on Nitro. Piper challenged Bret for the US title, and the guy was in the crowd, and it cost him the match. And then I remember the match finish was Bret had him beat. I don't know. Bret was going for a weapon, and the star who was in the corner of him, wanting Piper to win it, grabbed out of it, and they got into like a tug of war, and then the Mad TV star let go. I can't remember his name, but he let go. Bret fell back. Piper rolled him up, pinned him 1, 2, 3, and Bret lost the US title, and Piper became the US champion, WCW US champion. Didn't have it long because I believe at the pay-per-view, the upcoming pay-per-view after that, he lost it to Scott Hall. I don't know if he had a good run with it. I don't remember if he had a run with it, but I know he lost it to Scott Hall at, I believe it was Super Brawl, the pay-per-view. I believe it was the 1999 Super Brawl. That year. I know Piper did win that match in 1999. I know that. What else? Oh yeah, back to WWE. How about that Hollywood backlot brawl he had with with Goldust, which was so fixed. It was so set up to a T that they had to fight in the backlot, wherever the heck it was, undisclosed location, as they say. And then they both get in a car. Goldust gets in the car, drives down the highway. Piper gets in the car after him. And then it turns into O.J. Simpson. An O.J. Simpson trial, apparently, when the police cars were chasing O.J. Simpson. Oh, my God. It was so done. And then Piper eventually got him back in the arena at the Hyde Pond at WrestleMania 12 and finished the job, basically, and humiliated Goldust, which was awesome. And he was acting president at that point until the main event when they announced that Gorilla Monsoon was going to be the president of WWE at that point. He was acting president. But Goldust basically pissed him off. no polite way of putting it. Basically pissed him off, and Piper kicked his ass at WrestleMania. What else do I remember? Oh, of course. How can we forget Piper's Pit. There was the WrestleMania 5. WrestleMania 5 when Brother Love came out to do Piper's Pit. Try to beat Piper, mock Piper and everything. Nobody thought Piper was around. Piper comes out, and they had a celebrity in there, and the celebrity, I can't remember the celebrity's name. I know his face, but I can't remember his name. The celebrity started blowing smoke in Piper's face while he was trying to interview him. And it was the most funniest thing ever. He was blowing smoke, and he was like, "Don't blow smoke in my face." And he kept on doing it. He kept on doing it. He wouldn't stop. That's it. Morton Downey Jr. That's it. I knew it would come to me eventually. Morton Downey Jr. And he goes, and Jr. turned his back on him. Piper gets up. He's still smoking a cigar, Morton, like. Piper gets up, lifts the stool up, has a fire extinguisher underneath it, and Mr. Downey, would you mean turning round, please? And just sets off this fire extinguisher and starts spraying it with the fire extinguisher. Oh, it was great. Oh my God, it was so good. There was the incident with Andre the Giant. Man, the Giant grabbed hold of him, which pissed him off. He was mocking. How can you mock a 500-pound giant, for Pete's sake? 7-foot-tall giant on the show. Only Rowdy Piper would do that, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Jesus Christ. And then, I don't know what they were doing. It was all mocking thing and everything. And then Piper grabbed that. And then Andre, grabbed hold of him and started yelling at him and everything. And obviously, that pissed Piper off. He even took his shirt off. He wanted to fight Andre right there and then, which was fucking hilarious. And then there was the old incident with Jimmy Snuka, the coconut incident. Jimmy Snuka accused Piper of mocking him because he had bananas and coconuts, and then Piper picked a coconut and just whacked him with it and went right through the set and continued to whack him as well, even beating him down with his own belt. Many years later, Rikishi got revenge on Piper during a match with him and Sean O'Haire at a Backlash pay-per-view. And Piper was in the corner, and Piper took a coconut to the head from Rikishi, because Snuka and Rikishi are related. And I believe at one point as well, during TNA, their very first official pay-per-view, not the weekly pay-per-views that they used to do. This was after that, when they eventually, I believe they got the Impact Zone, and they got the Impact show. They did a pay-per-view in 2004, which was headlined by, I believe it was headlined by probably the craziest cage match I'd ever seen. Elix Skipper, Chris Daniels against AMW. That famous walk across the fucking cage from Elix Skipper when he did the Hurricane Rana. I'm done. Unbelievable. And the Macho Man, AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy against Kings of Wrestling, or as they were known. Well, that's what they were known then, but everybody knows it was NWO 2000. It was NWO 2000. Yeah. I apologize if I'm looking down. I'm just checking to see if everything's still intact. Every recording's intact. My stuff's been playing up with me lately, so I apologize if I'm down there. I'm still with you. I mean, and I believe on that they did a special on that pay-per-view, they did a special Piper's Pit angle with him and Snuka, and Piper allowed him to get revenge. He wanted him to get revenge right there and then. But Snuka wouldn't do it because he didn't want to attack him from behind or anything like that. And then there was the Royal Rumble. I believe it was the Air Cena won it, where he came back out of nowhere and won it, which led him into WrestleMania, which led to that triple threat match at WrestleMania between Orton, Cena, and Triple H. I believe it was 24. I'm pretty sure it was 24. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty 100% sure it was 24. That triple threat match. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But I'm pretty sure it was. But at the Royal Rumble of that year as well, which was held in MSG, WWE had a little bit of a surprise. Piper comes out and Snooker comes out. And the next minute, everybody's watching in the ring. Everybody who was participating in that Royal Rumble just stood there and watched these two legends go at it. It was like time stood still. It was like these two legends, Piper and Snooker, just going at it one-on-one. They didn't even do that. They didn't even want to step in. You could just see they'd have been best off just getting out the ring. That's what it was. I mean, it was just incredible. Memorable moments from Piper, and I could probably give you a list. What are your memorable moments? Do you have any memorable moments? Stick them in the comment box below. On YouTube, I can go through a lot, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I have a lot of memorable moments, and tune into the Wrestling Matters podcast for my eulogy. I'll probably play this audio on the podcast as well to say goodbye. That's my way, because Wrestling Matters podcast will be dedicated to Rowdy Roddy Piper this coming Monday. The episode 70 will be dedicated. Episode 70 of the Wrestling Matters podcast will be in honor of Rowdy Roddy Piper. And you can hear that and probably see that on YouTube, AJW Wrestling Matters on YouTube, or SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/wrestling_matters_podcast. Also check out facebook.com/WM podcast, at WM podcast on Twitter. As well, for more information on the Wrestling Matters podcast, and for more information as well on everything else, go to OSW TV, the affiliates for the Wrestling Matters podcast as well. Only Scottish wrestling. So all I've got to say is this. My name is Anthony Walker, the HD at the end of the day. Thank you, Rowdy Piper, for all the great memories. You have gone, unfortunately, but one thing is definitely for sure: you are not forgotten. You are the original rebel of professional wrestling. Without you, there probably wouldn't be a CM Punk or Stone Cold Steve Austin. Thank you for the memories. May you rest in peace. Until next time, guys. Peace out.